This lesson today is going to be on calculating the mode, median and range. The way this video will work is I will introduce some exercises for you to do and show you some worked examples, and you'll need to pause the video at the right times. I'll also put the key timings of the video on the instructions on Show My Homework, so if you want to skip back and forth to the different sections you can do that. Lastly, I have included the worksheets with the questions, so if you are able to print, it's not essential that you do, but if you are able to and want to, you can print out the worked examples and the question sheets. This is your do now task. What I want you to do is work through the questions on this slide. So it says each of the digits in the number 94 is a square number. So a square number is a number multiplied by itself. So 1 times 1, the answer is 1. 1 is an example of a square number. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 is an example of a square number. Okay, so that's really important you understand this concept when you're working on this question. I've included some hints on the right hand side to help get you going. See if you can work out what a squidget is by reading the instructions and have a go at the questions. Spend no more than 10 minutes on this. So just make sure you mark your work. These are also in the answer sheet, but I would pause this video because I'm going to move on. We're going to start off our lesson on averages by looking at the mode. So the mode is a value in a set of data which occurs the most often. So on the left hand side of this grid, I'm going to start off with an example. So the question is to find the mode of this data, so which value occurs most often. Now you might be able to see it just by looking at the list. A better way is to put the numbers in order so it's easier to spot similar numbers. So when we put the numbers in order of smallest to biggest, we end up with our same list, but it now reads 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it's really easy to spot that 2 is the number that occurs the most because it appears 4 times, therefore that is our mode. Okay, so I'd like you to try this example on the right. Please pause your video now and write down the question. And when you feel like you've had a go at this, unpause it to see the solution. Okay, welcome back. So we want to find the mode of this data. We've got our list of data here. What we want to do now is put the numbers in order so it's easier to spot similar numbers, and your list should have looked like this. And we can see from this list that the mode is 3 because the number 3 appears 4 times more than any of the other numbers in our list. I'd like to show you another example of the mode. So on the left hand side we want to find the mode of this new data set. We've got 2, 5, 3, 4, 0, 1, 6. Now following our method from the last slide, we're going to put the numbers in order so it's easier to spot which number appears the most, and we see something strange. We've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, have you spotted it? Okay, this is an example of no mode because there is no number that appears more than the other. Okay, so that's an example of no mode where they all appear an equal number of times. Okay, so pause the video now and have a go at this question on the right. Okay, so having worked through this question, hopefully you've put the numbers in order and got this list here, and what you'll find is there is no mode because there is no number that appears more than the other in this list. They all appear once. Last example of the mode. So on the left hand side here we want to find the mode of this data. So we'll go through our method, we'll put all our numbers in order of smallest to biggest so it's easier to spot similar numbers, and we end up with this list 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So looking at this list we can see that 2 and 3 appear twice, which is more than the others, and this is what's called bimodal. So we'll say the mode is 2 and 3 because they appear twice, which is more than any other number. So pause the video and have a go at this question on the right. Okay, so hopefully you've paused the video, you've had a go at this question. You should have got your numbers in order, would have looked like this. And what you'd end up with is two modes, so 3 and 4, because they appear twice, which is more than any other number in our list. Okay, and hopefully you've paused the video, mark your answers now. The first one, the mode was 28, second one had two modes, 34 and 41, third one had no mode, the fourth one had 28 and 31 as two modes, and the last one had one mode of 28. Okay, so another type of data set you might come across is your data organised into what we call a frequency table. So here we have two columns in our table. We've got colour, red, blue, green and pink, and we've got frequency, which just means how many. So how many red, blue, green, pink of something. We could say buttons for the sake of argument. So in our table we've got a statement here. So we said the mode is 7 and we want to decide if that is true or false. So just have a look at the data and have a think and see if you can work out whether you think this is true or false. Okay, so if you look at this data, we can see that this statement is false. We can see that actually pink has the most buttons in that category, and we would say that's the modal category of that table. So we're just looking at which row has the highest number. Okay, let's do another one. So we've got colour, we've got frequency. This statement here says the mode is red and blue. Is this true or is this false? Okay, so the answer is false again. We know from the previous table it's the same data. Our mode is pink. Okay, so this time we're looking at the table, same data again. Our statement is our mode is pink. Is this true or false? Okay, it's probably quite obvious given the previous question, so we can say this one is true. Okay, so we've got a slightly different set of data now. So our colours are red, blue, green, pink. Our numbers are different. Our mode is stated as red. Is this true or is this false? We can say this is true because red has 10 and that's the highest number in our table. Okay, question 5. The statement says mode equals red and blue. Is this true or is this false? The answer is of course true. So we have in our table red and blue have both 10, so they have the highest numbers in our table. And lastly, this one says the mode is red, blue, green and pink. Is this true or is this false? Have a think and just pause the video. Okay, so what we would say is this is false. And the reason that this is false, we would say this table of data has no mode because all of the numbers appear an equal number of times. Okay, I would just like you to have a go at some of these questions now. So we're deciding if the statements about the tables are true or false. So pause the video and read through the information, decide whether they're true or false. These questions go on to the next page as well. Okay, so having worked through these, hopefully you've got the answers. So they are as follows. So this is the second page of questions, so if you're not using the worksheets, please pause the video now and work through these questions as I'm going to show the answers in just a moment. Okay, so the answers should be as follows. So just mark your work, pause the video so you can do so. Okay, the next type of average we're going to look at is the median. So the median is the middle value when the data is arranged in order of size, or the mean of the two middle values. We'll look at two examples explaining what exactly this is talking about. Okay, so to find the median of this set of data, what we first want to do is put our numbers in order of smallest to biggest. That's what we mean by order of size. So if we put them in order, we end up with 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 and 9. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is work out what the middle value or values are. So we do this by crossing off numbers at either end of our list. So let's do that and get rid of 1 and 9, 3 and 7, 4 and 7, 4 and 6. And what we end up with, because there is an odd number of data points in this list, we end up with 5 left on its own, and therefore we can say that the median of our data is 5. Okay, so I would like you to pause the video now and have a go at the question on the right, following the method we've just gone through. Okay, so hopefully having gone through all of this, you've put your data in order and you've ended up with the number 6 left in the middle. Therefore, we can say that the median of this data is 6. Let me just change that, it'd be 6. One more example of the median. So let's work through this on the left. So we want to find the median of this set of data. What we're going to do is put the numbers in order, because a median says we arrange our data in order of size, smallest to biggest. And then we're going to cross off numbers from each end of our list. So we're crossing off in pairs. So 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 3 and 7. And then we're left with 2 numbers in the middle, so we stop. What we need to do in this particular case, because there's an even number of data points in our list, is we're going to find what we call the mean of the 2 middle numbers. So that means add the 2 middle numbers together and divide by 2. So if we do this, 5 plus 6, all divided by 2, we end up with 11 divided by 2 and our median of 5.5. Okay, I would like you to pause the video now and have a go at this question on the right, following the method we've just gone through. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. If you put the numbers in order, you get this here. We're going to cross off the numbers on our list, and we end up with 3 and 4 in the middle, so we add them together and divide them by 2. And we end up with a median of 3.5 for this set of data. Okay, so it's time to pause the video. I would like you to work through these questions, and I will shortly show the answers for them, but these questions do go on to the next page as well. So just try the second set of questions as well. This is also available on the worksheet if you prefer to work from one place. Okay, please mark your work, pause the video for as long as you need. And now mark your work for the second set of questions. Pause the video, just make sure you've got long enough to mark these. Okay, the last bit of averages we want to look at is the range. The range is technically not a type of average, it's a measure of spread, and we calculate it by subtracting the smallest value from the largest value in our data set. So let's just look at a couple of examples and we'll work through them. Okay, so we're looking at this data set and we want to know what our smallest value is. Well, we can see that our list is already in order. So 3 is our smallest and 18 is our largest. Our list won't always be in order, so it can help to write it out, but in this case we don't need to. So we calculate our range by taking away our smallest value, which is 3, from 18, which is our largest. And so we end up with a range of 15. Okay, so I would now like you to pause the video and have a go at this question on the right. What is the range? Okay, so similar to the question on the left, our list is actually in order, so being quite nice this time around, it won't always be in order. So we calculate our range by taking away 1, which is our smallest, from 16, which is our largest, and once again, we end up with a range of 15. Okay, so I'd now like you to pause the video and have a go at calculating the range from these questions. Okay, now mark your work, pause the video for as long as you need. Finally, we've got this question here. So we've got some books that are arranged into different size piles. So we've got 20 in one pile, 11 in another, 17 in the third one. And we want to arrange them so there's an even number of books in each pile, the same number of books in each pile. So see if you can work out how you would do that. And if you finish that, think about what type of average this is an example of. We used it briefly earlier in the lesson. Okay, so answers are here. Mark your work. Very well done if you stuck through this today.